Hi there, ◚🗚🕚📚 here. Just want to give a little talk on the difference between a one world order and an orderly new world. As the pandemic comes to a close, the plandemic comes to a close, we're going to find our lives will change. The powers that be, the deep state, the globalist, they wanted to create a one world order, one government, one body of people who have complete control over the masses. That was their agenda. But thank goodness it's not going to happen that way. People are waking up. They're waking up to the fact that we've been manipulated and controlled. Our freedoms have been taken away one tiny step at a time, so slowly that most people are still unaware of the fact that their freedom has been taken away. But times are changing. People are slowly waking up. There's two aspects as to the Great Awakening. Aspect one is we're awakening to our higher selves, the potential of the spirit within. The potential of the spirit within is grand. It's huge. John 14:10-12 kind of says it this way. He says, "Why do you marvel at the works that I do? There'll be others come to do more." And that's because we're all awakening to that power of the universe, that power of the creative source that resides within each and every single one of us. There's not going to be one leader that's going to show up. That's a crock of crap. Light is within each and every human being. So, on the spiritual level, every human being on the planet is starting to realize that we are more than this three-dimensional body. We are much more than this three-dimensional body. We are, in fact, extensions of creative source itself. And there's a seed of that creative source that's within each and every one of us. All of the masters, every one of them, were not here to be glorified. They were here to show us the way. We too have that creative source within us. And that, on the spiritual level, is what we are awakening to. On the 3D level, with their political system and the one world order, they believed that they were going to be able to control the planet. And it's true. The conspiracy theory around the idea of microchipping everybody was in fact true. It was an intention. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. Because mankind, we're all taking back our power because we're realizing that creative source lies within each and every one of us. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones we've been waiting for. So, what is this one world order? It's falling. The fall of the cabal. It's happening now. Deep state. In every country. The U.S., everybody knows about the deep state in the U.S., but you know what? Every country has a deep state that's all connected to the same globalist agenda of power over others. Power over others! Not the power of each individual. But as we wake up to the power of each individual, we'll take back control of our lives. We'll be the ones that decide how our lives are going to unfold. And everyone will be different. So now, that the New World Order is going to fall, what's going to happen? A slight change of syntax. What we're going to have is an orderly new world. The world is changing. It is going to be different. Most definitely, because we're different. We're waking up to the fact that we are extensions of creative source itself. And the power of creative source lies within each and every one of us. Every one of us. There's 7.5 billion people on the planet, and we all have a different idea of how our world should be. And the coolest thing is, we are all correct. And we're all going to be able to create that on one condition, and that is as if we have compassion for others. So the orderly new world that is going to come from all of this awakening changes is exceptionally beautiful. We have one humanity, that's true. One love, that's true. But there's 7.5 billion different individuals. Each one of us is uniquely different. We're all different. We're all divine. So there won't be a one world order that's going to make us all be slaves to some propaganda of the trillionaire club that's boom, falling. What's happening is we're taking back our power. So the orderly new world is going to accept the fact that, you know what, 7.5 billion people, and we all, I should say, every one of us has a different perception of what the divine is. And our relationship to God is different than all 7.5 other billion people. We all have our own perception of it. So when we start to recognize that fact and we see that piece of the divine inside of them, like it's inside you and me, then we will start to understand what true compassion really is. True compassion is not what people think it is. It's not going to create a whole bunch of puppets so that we're all the same. We're going to have arguments. We're going to have altercations. And the 7.5 billion people will all choose to live a little bit different than each other. And that's how it should be. But the thing of it is we'll develop a little bit of compassion for each other and accept the fact that we're different. And even though we'll have arguments, we'll enjoy the fact that we're different and that we see things differently. So the orderly new world won't be one love as some kind of dynamic make-believe utopia. What a crock of crap. No, there won't be a utopia. However, the compassion that we share with each other will be like a utopia. We'll maybe choose to not be around certain individuals that think and want to live different than we do. So we have one humanity, 7.5 billion different, unique, individual human beings. We have one planet, one world, yes. But within that planet, how many nations are there? Each one is uniquely different. And that's how it should be. We'll be able to travel the world and see each other's differences when we learn to have acceptance of the fact they don't have to think or be like us. It's ludicrous to think that 7.5 billion people will all fall under suit of one controlling body. New world order. Crap! It's falling. The cabal's falling. Deep state everywhere, in every country, in every province, in every state. Deep state's disappearing. And what's coming forth is order. Orderly new world, we will have rules, most definitely, and we will need to have controlling forces such as police. But police will no longer be money grabbers. Their purpose will be peacekeepers. The original intention of the RCMP and the police was not to control everybody, and not to take money from everybody, and not to ticket everybody for every little crazy law that doesn't make any sense. The police have a reason to be here. They are the peacekeepers, to help establish that compassion within each individual, so that we can think and act and behave differently, and yet at the same time we don't intrude on other people's choices of thinking and acting the way they choose to. We're all different, every one of us. So one love that binds us all is absolute fact. It's the love of creative source that's inside you, it's inside me, and it's inside every single human being on the planet. Even the jerks are filled with that one piece of the divine source inside. We all have that piece of that source of creative power inside us. So as we come through this great awakening change, the one planet where we all live together in cooperative, yes, that'll happen. But you live your way, I'll live my way. We may argue, we may disagree, and that's perfectly fine. Because when we do that, and we learn to argue with a little bit of common sense, both of us can grow from the other person's perception. It doesn't mean to say that one of us is right or the other one's wrong. No, probably both wrong. Probably both wrong. And that's the beautiful thing, is when we realize that almost anything could come out of this. It's beautiful. So we'll have one world, many nations. And everybody should be proud of the nation that they're living in. Being proud to be Canadian or American or Vietnamese or Korean or Chinese or German or French or Russian, it doesn't matter. Being proud to be a part of the community where you live, that's a beautiful thing. It's an absolute beautiful thing. But don't expect other people to have to be living the same as you. It's not that difficult. It really is simple. It's just common sense. I'll be me. I'm going to do me. You be you. And you do you. You do you better than anybody else can do you. I do me better than anybody else can do me. So one love, that's the compassion that we learn to have for that creative source that's within each and every individual. All 7.5 billion people, uniquely different than the other one. One love, that is absolutely beautiful. One planet, that's absolutely beautiful. And on the planet, many nations. Just like in humanity, there are many human individuals. 7.5 billion uniquely different human individuals. One planet, many nations, many countries, all uniquely different. How glorious is that? We can expand our capabilities of compassion by traveling to other countries where we all learn to understand that compassion begins with the fact that every one of us has that spark of the divine, creative source inside. We complicate it, thinking that a one world order is a solution. What a crock of crap. There's no one world order. That's bullshit. It never will happen. Thank God for that. What a boring place this would be. Absolutely boring. I love the fact that we're all uniquely different. I love the fact that we can have altercations and still love each other for the fact that that source is inside each other. I can argue plain and black and white between people. I can argue with them like crazy, but it doesn't change my compassion for the individual. I don't want them to necessarily believe the way I believe. I want to stretch their thinking, and I like the fact that they're stretching mine. One world order? No goddamn way that's going to happen. It won't happen. It can't. There's 7.5 billion people, and we're all uniquely different, so it's impossible to have a one world order. But an orderly new world, that we can create. So here's to an orderly new world. Here's to the compassion that we have for each other. Here's for the love of the planet as a whole, and the pride that we have for our unique countries that we live in. All different, all beautiful. No one country is any better than the other. We're just different. Just simply different. 7.5 billion uniquely different individuals. Thank God for that. We'd be boring if we were all the same. So when we come through this great awakening, the political agenda of the globalists will fall flat on their face. It ain't going to happen. The globalist agenda, crap. Shove it up their downspout. It ain't going to happen. Why? Very simple. 7.5 billion people all have a different perception of what life means to them, what God means to them, what their own country means to them, what the planet means to them. And as we collectively start to tune into that fact that we all have that piece of the divine creative source within us, and it's okay for us to choose to live differently, think differently, and act and behave differently, as long as we're not forcing it upon others. Let us argue. Let us argue. No big deal. But don't take any argument personal. That's one of the biggest crazy things that happen with the whole political correct movement. That movement has made people think that they're offended at everything. Somebody says something that disagrees with the way they think, and oh, I'm offended. You're not being political correct. Bullshit. Bullshit. Have some power in yourself. Have some power in that connect with the divine. It's fine that we don't think the same way. It's beautiful that we don't think the same way. Thank God we don't, because this place would be boring if everybody thought and behaved the same way. Everybody listened to the same style of music. Everybody ate the same kind of food. One world order. Shove it up their downspout. Cheers to an orderly new world. And in that orderly new world, there will be peace. Simple. All that takes is the understanding that we're different. Accepting that we're different. No matter how much we argue, we would never want to hurt somebody. You go live your life over there your way. There's a country and a nationality and a community that fits you. Go there. I'm going to live my life my way. And I'm happy about that. And I choose to live in a community that fits who I am in that way. So an orderly new world is going to come out of this great awakening. And that's just plain common sense. Just plain common sense. Compassion and common sense will create a simple, orderly new world. Yes, we'll need the peacekeepers, but we don't need any wars. Never need to kill anybody for our differences of opinions or differences of lifestyles or differences of beliefs. We can find our tribe, whoever they might be, wherever we might find them. So I salute you, a unique, totally unique individual with the spark of divine inside you. I respect and love your choice of nations where you choose to live. And I'm happy that you're learning to respect mine. That's just common sense. It's just common sense. One world? Yes. One planet? Yes. But within that world, many nations, and all of them are different. Perfect. Perfect. One humanity. Yes. 7.5 billion unique and different individuals with creative source inside. That is what one love really is. That is an orderly new world in the making. And it's up to you and me we can do this. Peace. Peace profound. Peace profound. Yes, it's true. Humanity has reached a new crossroads in our evolution as a whole and as members of the human race on planet Earth. Our future is entirely in our own hands. It's up to us where we take it, what we do with it. If you enjoyed this video, buy me a coffee. If you really enjoyed this video, buy me a donut with the coffee. And if you want to see me do more videos, you can help me support my channel by sending me the money to buy me lunch. You'll find the link in the description below.